Did Xbox just technically get caught lying about their upcoming games and graphics? We need to talk about that. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and we just wrapped up Summer Games Fest week here on the channel, and it has been some explosive views, explosive subscribers. Hello everybody who's watching for the first time. I'm DreamcastGuy. Feel free to like this video. Well, this last week has been very, very epic because it's just been jam-packed with big trailers. Stuff like Callisto Protocol, all the Square Enix news, the Capcom news, Resident Evil all over the place. It has just been games, games, games. Now, there's rumors that we're about to get a big Nintendo Direct here at the end of the month and maybe a State of Play, but it feels like a majority of the conversation about Summer Games Fest has been the Xbox Bethesda showcase because it was 95 minutes of just pure, unannounced, crazy cool stuff. Now, personally, I didn't super love the conference, mostly because it did feel like a lot of the random indie games and stuff were a little bit fillery in my opinion, but the big games were definitely big games. Well, there's been this controversy sort of stirring up today because of something said by Digital Foundry. So this is actually a clip from the Digital Foundry podcast. It was released just a couple hours ago, and I've been listening to it. There are some clips going around like this one here. Digital Foundry are obviously the absolute experts of technical analysis. They have special instruments to monitor every pixel, every bit of resolution, every frame rate drop. They are the kings of figuring out if your game runs good or if it is a complete dumpster fire. Well, they were talking in their podcast that a lot of the trailers we saw during the Xbox Bethesda showcase were obviously very bright, very flashy. Well, it turns out that some of them were a little bit misleading. Now, specifically, the thing that seems to have drummed up a lot of the controversy revolves around Forza Motorsport. Now, of all the games they showed, Forza Motorsport was definitely the project that had the biggest wow factor with just raw graphical appearance. The game had almost photorealistic lighting, different effects on the track, water, reflections. I mean, it was just jaw-dropping. Well, it turns out that despite the fact that the trailer itself said Xbox Series X and S, the trailer was completely running on PC. You couldn't tell. They actually had to release a statement later that the graphics we saw were not really Xbox graphics, they were PC graphics. And they sort of take issue with that inside of the podcast, especially because they actually released a second demo during the later part of the Xbox showcase. Like the next day, they showed more gameplay of their projects, and they actually revealed more stuff that turned out was running on Xbox, but was replay mode. So even though it looks like very flashy, very, very good ray tracing, very good 4K graphics resolution and stuff like that, it turns out that it's not real gameplay because it's an instant replay, which means nobody's really playing that game as good as it looks. It's just, it's practically just a simulation on a track. Now, in the Digital Foundry podcast, they said that this is almost lying. It is dishonest. It is misleading. If you are watching the Xbox showcase to see Xbox games, these are PC games, which are running via Xbox Game Pass. Now, the debate seems to be whether or not they were lying. Now, Digital Foundry is sometimes called anti-Xbox because of the fact that they do so many detailed analysis. They did a big breakdown about Starfield that showed that Starfield, despite the fact that visually it's very stunning artistically, it does obviously have a lot of frame rate issues. The demo they showed off, I mean, the game's coming out a long way from now. Very raw demo. They have said that essentially, even though these graphics, oh my gosh, let's look at the side of this. Like, even though these graphics are just so freaking gorgeous, I love the way this game looks. Technically, it's not really 4K 60 with ray tracing, so these trailers are a little bit wrong. But the main question I sort of see boiling up on Twitter is, are these lies? Did Microsoft straight up lie to us? Because technically, what they said in the trailers isn't exactly clear, but is it lying? Now, there are two styles of lying. Sometimes I feel like people sort of screw this up, especially if you don't speak a lot of English. Technically, there is lying where you're saying something knowingly that you know is untrue, and then there's lying via omission. This is where you leave out very important information on purpose to try and draw into a different conclusion. It's both malicious, but sometimes people consider one style of lying more evil than the other. Now, in this case, I sort of take the side of what Digital Foundry went into. Inside this podcast, they essentially said that they should do what Sony does. During a lot of the PlayStation showcases, like when they showed off Final Fantasy 16 or they show off, some sort of big giant reveal that's going to be coming to PC, they say on the trailer in real big font, this is a PC trailer for a game that is coming to PlayStation 5. Now to me, that should be enough. I feel like people are not going to be very, very, upset. People aren't going to be angry. It's just about being as clear as possible with your audience. Now, I must admit that to me personally, this entire controversy is a bit sort of redundant in a way. Like, the way I think about this is the fact that a lot of trailers are misleading. A lot of trailers are going to have cut features, different UI, extra things that aren't going to exist in the final game, like bigger particle effects and stuff like that. A lot of times, trailers are a theoretical set piece. They're something that's set up so you get an idea of what the game is going to play like when you buy it. These games running on PC and not being clear about it, I do think that technically, right now, what they're doing does, in my opinion, count as lying. But I feel like a lot of trailers lie. It's just different flavors of that delicious lying syrup. But what actually comes to mind the most is this super old quote from Gabe Newell, obviously the founder of Steam, Valve. He's the dude who helped make Half-Life and, all that kind of stuff. Well, he has this super old quote. We used to say this all the time on the World of Warcraft forums. Don't ever try to let the internet, or don't ever try to lie to the internet, because they will catch you, they will deconstruct your spin, and they will remember everything you ever say for eternity. And I feel like sometimes, especially gaming companies, they forget the magic rule. Do not lie. Especially don't lie about stupid stuff, because people are going to bust you and immediately wonder why you even thought it was important to lie about this in the first place. I'm very excited about the future of Xbox, and while I wasn't completely blown away by the Xbox Bethesda showcase, I'm probably going to play every major Xbox game. Redfall, I know people are bagging on Redfall a lot. I think Redfall looks freaking exactly my style. I'm definitely going to be playing the heck out of Forza Motorsport. The more I kind of think about it, the more I think Forza Motorsport might be my most hyped game for spring of next year, other than the Resident Evil 4 remake, obviously. But it feels like, I don't know, Xbox has a lot of buns in the oven. And a lot of people are sort of just hating on them because it's fun to hate on Team Xbox. I'm glad I have an Xbox. I'm glad I have my PlayStation 5. I'm glad I have my Nintendo Switch, which I was actually secretly playing right before I filmed this. I'm ready for the future of anything. Give me everything. Give me Xenoblade Chronicles. Give me freaking Halo 5. Give me everything. Wait, not Halo 5. I was trying to throw out games that don't exist yet. Halo 5 did come out, and I already forgot about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big ol' like. Give it a what am I doing? Give this video a big ol' like. Be sure to subscribe, and also, most importantly, keep dreaming. All right. Time to go back to the ridiculousness of staring at people mad about people being mad on Twitter. Man, someday you people are going to touch grass, and I look forward to it. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.